Thank you. Am I audible? Good. Thank you. Good. So, I'm Uldis. No, this is not how we start. Definitely not. Can we go to the first slide, please? This one, maybe in a program something a little bit different is written in. So, becoming an exceptional IT leader. I talked with a few people around here and felt that this topic actually could resonate very well, but you may not like it at first. Let's go with the flow and see what happens. So, still learning this thing, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm Uldis Karlovs Karlovskis. What is relevant today is that I started as an engineer for some 10 years, and then I moved into all kinds of leadership roles, step by step. I already saw that DevOps is a word around here. People keep coming back to that. I'm actually a DevOps guy. How did we get this slide? No idea. This is weird. What's happening? Maybe I have that 15 seconds auto forward again on it. It's a weird thing. I'm sorry if that's a thing, then we're going to struggle all the way. Anyhow, so 20 years in IT, but have you ever enjoyed a 6-week vacation? Who has? Like in your career, on a main job, 6 weeks of vacation in a row. Who has done that? See, I'm special at least with my vacation. But at that point, I have a team of 150 engineers. So how? It's impossible. I'll be honest with you, I was checking my email a little bit during those 6 weeks. But I was truly enjoying my time off, and my team was taking care of everything. Okay, maybe a few things I said, don't touch that, but generally, the department was on its own, doing pretty good. So, yeah, I just started my PhD studies at RTU, where I teach Agile and DevOps, but today is not going to be about that. Later on, you can hit me on those topics if you want. So that's me. What's happening? Okay. Do you know who is Hunter Moore? I believe you do have Netflix in Moldova, do you? Yeah? Yeah. I don't know. No? You do. Someone will just play the joke on me. Yeah. I don't know, do you have in the content the picture about Hunter Moore, but he's a completely sick, very bad guy. And what he did, he kind of understood how to make the worst people on the internet even worse. He understood how to bring out the lowlifes in the world, in the US at least, and somehow activate them. And he basically created a cult of bad people on internet. In reality, it was also not just on the internet, they were also at some crazy parties doing very bad stuff. The thing is, he created a very, very bad website, and that's year 2012, 2013, I'm not that sure, this doesn't matter really. But the thing is, police couldn't take him down, and there was kind of some half illegal stuff. But since it never went through the court, he was never truly guilty, then it just all went on. People were hurt. Lots of bad stuff was happening. That cult of people was hurting others. It was mad. Watch the movie. Not on a good day. On a bad day, watch the movie. So, who took him down? It wasn't police. Police couldn't do anything. It was all on the internet. Police, internet, engineers, doesn't really work out. This group, they actually have a name, Anonymous or something like that. I'm sorry if I'm telling you the wrong name. A group of excellent engineers got together. No one knows truly their names, not publicly. And they took him down in different ways. At the end, lots of people came together. They found ways how to make real proof that this bad guy, Hunter Moore, has done something bad. At the end, it all is a good story. But if you have watched, okay, moving on, kind of secretly, I don't know about you, but I would love to be on that team, or I would love to be that secret group of engineers who take down the bad guy. Won't you? A lot of you are watching. There's few pictures from Marvel or DC near the VC. We want to be like Stark, don't we? Or sometimes we feel like that. I want to believe that. But the thing is that we don't really don't get to learn how to be good leaders. These guys probably had a leader, probably they didn't, we don't know. But where do we find them? Where do we find the IT leaders? I mean truly IT people. Stan, I hope his name was Stan, just talked, what's happening? Just talked about engineers. To me, those are the IT leaders. So, quick test. I know you've been sitting for 2 hours. Please stand up. Yeah, I know you're now a bit surprised. Stand up. Quick. It's not going to be long. And now, please sit down only those who do not want to earn a little bit more money. Like you're good. You have enough. Your salary is good. Seems like everyone would want to get a little bit higher salary. Cool, good. Now, please sit down only those who are in some kind of leadership role today. A project manager, CEO, CTO, a team lead also sits down. Tech lead, if you're leading people, sit down. If you're leading products, then I don't know what kind of lead that is. Half, about half. Thank you. The stuff I'm going to talk about generally is how to make you, those who are standing, into good IT leaders. And you may not want that, right? Feel free to sit down. I hope you stretch your legs a little. Now, moving on. There already was some comparison between developers and engineers. To me, that resonated with this stuff a little. But this is like from 60s, 50s, the theory and thinking behind that we have this white-collar people who manage everyone, and then we have these blue-collar who do the work. Back in engineering, it was kind of less creative work. Today, we have developers and CEOs and something like that. Don't get me started on pink collar, how bad it is that someone created that type of profile out of these two. What has been proven that this white collar people, if you don't know what is RS 4950, that is a DNA type, a gene in DNA sequence. Some 5% of people have it. So that's the leadership gene. Does it mean that other 95% of people are doomed? That wouldn't be fair, does it? But generally, it is proven that this gene exists in some 5% of people. Okay, so you were honest with me. I'll be a little bit honest with you for a second. So, as I said, I started as an engineer. I was a simple geek, a kid into computers somewhere from Latvia where internet didn't exist in the 90s. Kind of slowly was just developing there. I loved the NFS. I still drive like one. I believe you can appreciate that in Moldova. I took a taxi from the airport. And then I loved strategy games, and that's me at a computer. So that's me, a simple human being, really. But then, what just happened? Oh yeah, that's me. So, what I believe I have done and I'll try to share a little bit of that with you, is kind of I tried nailing this gene down because I don't believe I have it. I don't. I was a simple guy, and now I'm acting a lot, and I'm super stressed. But I'm working on that. So, how or what is the latest theory on this topic that we put people in boxes like they're white collar, blue collar, and whatnot? By the way, I forgot to mention that these two types of people are not allowed to communicate often in some environments, like those don't get those and vice versa, so let's not allow them to talk and stuff like that. It's crazy. So, the ocean. You may not have heard about it. My topic is not about that, but just to quickly explain, one of the latest psychological theories about people is that, of course, it keeps doing that. That's my fault. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, one of theories is that, of course, we shouldn't put people in boxes, but we are different. So what is that difference? And then Ocean talks about that. If we talk about my ocean, where openness is more creativity, and then that word I will not dare to pronounce. Okay, the second one. Good luck with it. I tried. Now I can't do it again. Yeah, but that one is more about kind of thoughtfulness. Then we have extroversion, which is about socializing. Then we have agreeableness, which is about kindness and being together with other people. Neuroticism is truly how neurotic I am. And then I believe that would be my numbers in 2007, and these are my numbers in 22. They have went a little bit up in extroversion, in kind of being together with people and stuff like that. The thing is, what Ocean talks about is that you are not defined by that. You're not static. You can change it. That's what neuroplasticity talks about. Of course, everyone has some kind of high and low. And it means that we need to work with it. If we're somewhere in the middle, we can actually put our number too high, or if we don't do anything with it, it drops. That's what it talks about. Immediately, a comment on neuroticism. That's not a skill, not really. That is more of, if you have high neuroticism, you can't focus, you can't do anything, all your numbers are down. So it also talks about that. So the Ocean, a few years old, but my personal belief is that we can change it, and I'm kind of a walking proof. I hope so. Now, back to the teams. I'll do quickly this, maybe it helps. I'll do this and then this. Maybe then it will stop jumping. So, Tuckman. I believe these days everyone has heard about the Tuckman and team dynamics. So, very old theory about that each team is at the beginning successful, then they drop, and then they evolve. And most probably, I hope his name was Stan, is one of those A-team players, the previous speaker, I mean. In some local superstar, unfortunately I don't know him privately, personally, but kind of a name around here. Everyone knows the A-team, right? So, Or, do you know the A-team? No. See? It's like 30 years old TV show, or 40 or 50 years probably. I was a kid when that was popular, so that's why I kind of assumed. They're four crazy guys doing crazy stuff, blowing up things, saving the world in every series. Known widely. So that's the idea. You most probably can find a similar team somewhere in your childhood memories or whatever. So this whole idea works pretty well. You have a team, it's going down, then it starts working with each other, people become great, and they become the A-team. Kind of yes, but then we have the reality. Going forward, going back. Yeah. So a simple business model, okay? So we have the A team. A team creates good stuff. Good stuff returns money. That's the concept. That's the business concept in general, everywhere in this world. What we expect, if the business is good, if it's making money, it means that if we grow, we start getting more money, which means creating more good stuff, but then we need to start growing the team, okay? And there are maybe from the back, you can't see the bottom of a slide at all, but there are a few red crosses. Obviously, it's been a year, someone left the company. Some of those early starters. Then there's some white faces with which means, well, there are people who joined the company and they don't really like it. And it's like, this was the best company, we were the A team, why you don't like it? And people like that start showing up in the company. Okay, but you keep going on, it's the third year, successful year in a row or something like that. So the concept is, of course, if we'll keep doing that, we'll keep making more money, keep making more good stuff, and it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because we don't have the leaders. We don't have the A team which simply expands and scales. It doesn't work that way. If it does work in your company when you have hit 50 or 100 people, then I'm amazed you're doing something very, very unique. Generally, it doesn't scale that way. And then what do? We try to hire some manager who has the management degree and doesn't really get IT people, but can manage. That doesn't work out, but we do that. Or we go to the engineer who has been in the company for 5 years, and we say, you're a team lead, here's your team, make this good stuff. Well, it works if we do the right things. The problem is that why I said to half of you that you're not gonna like it. Not everyone, but not everyone wants to be a leader, right? Some people don't believe they can, and then they say they don't want to, but some people truly don't want to. And then here what happens, at least in what I have seen in my life, we go to the engineer and we're like, would you like to be the next team lead? Because the existing team lead is leaving the company or moving to the other team, whatever. And that engineer says, I don't want to be a team lead, but I'd like to be an architect. Do you have that? Kind of engineers, thank you. Engineers very often see their career track as I'm going to be a senior developer and at some point I'm going to be an architect. I don't know what is your view on architects in Moldova, but I've been working in international companies with international clients, and the situation is pretty much the same everywhere. What people see as architect is more like this. What does it mean? It's that secret guy somewhere hiding away, puppeting things. There's one trick about the Matrix. Well, generally, I believe that the movie has effed us all up because that's not how architects should work. But there's a trick also in the movie. Who is the architect? Do you know? Yeah. What else? Yeah. No, he's not a human. That's the whole thing. He's a program. So he's not real, so no one can be an architect fundamentally like in the movie. It's impossible. But people kind of miss that point. He's cool, I want to be an architect. So, okay, back to our story. The engineer says, I want to be an architect, I don't want to be a team lead. All right, we're like, whatever. We need to have this role filled. You want to be an architect, be an architect. Here's your team, dear architect. what happens in reality is that the architect starts facing something like this. It's not a picture created by me. Well, I added a few things, but the whole point is that there are people, there are systems, there are relationships in that team. Lots of interesting stuff is happening which is never going to be in the paper. Then I know there's going to be someone in a later talks mentioning Convoy's law. It's like 60 years old or so. And that also applies. It's not just the people, it's also the product and what has been created so far, and how those people are operating, in which team they are, and so on and so on. And that's the stuff what architect now needs to deal with. And well, if we don't provide any support to that person, what happens is the person either burns out or leaves the company, or I guess 10% of people find their way how to actually get out of this this hellhole. Yeah, so doesn't really work. My story, appoint an engineer, you're gonna be the next leader. I have walking dead examples, metaphor, not dead for now, good. Yeah, so what are we going to do in the workshop? The workshop is called the IT Leaders Kitchen, which is going to be right after the lunch. I guess Anton will mention it separately when exactly it starts. Oops, again that thing. Come on. Go back. Go back. Do I need to beg? Okay. Yeah, so the concept of how do we actually help that poor engineer, a developer, to become, the name doesn't matter, IT leader, maybe an architect, because to me all good architects are IT leaders, there's just no other way. But six different traits or skills or cornerstones of what the leader needs. And the workshop is going to be about how to develop those. A few very concrete practices from me, which I have picked up from different, well, books, workshops, trainings, my own experience, and so on. We'll see how much we will cover in, what, two hours or so. Less than 2 hours, actually, but it will be some real, what's the name? You will get a chance to try them instead of just listen, this is good or that is bad. That's the plan for the workshop. So, I see that we have a little bit of time. Let's try to mention a few of them. So, 6 types, as I said. The very first one is this, a better human. By the way, the pictures which I'm going to show, why it says somewhere Bard in bottom, again it's doing that thing, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I asked Bard, no one talks about Bard here, everyone talks ChatGPT, GPT, Bard, I'm using Bard. And it gave me 6 random pictures for the stuff I need to talk about. So this is the first one, that the Mother Teresa. The better human, it's actually a very complicated topic in a way that it can't be trained. You know, you can go to the person and say, here's a training, how to be a better human. Does it really work? But I do have a few practices how to be a mediator and how to go for a better place than you were. What we will do in a workshop, we will try one of mediating kind of techniques, a simple one. When 2 people have a conflict, they need a mediator. And we will go through that with using a rather simple technique. That's one thing. Then the innovator. Do you ever have a situation that kind of there's a team, that team is kind of getting bored of what they do. They start, in a way, complaining that the work is not that interesting. And if you're a person from the outside, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? There's so many options. What else you could do? Go AI, go cloud, go containers, go with so many options. But the team is more like, yeah, there's a lot of good options, but we're kind of, I don't know. So what's missing is this piece of innovation. Someone who actually initiates the idea and starts moving it forward. That's what leaders do. If there's no leader in the team or no one is kind of being pushed to be a leader, then the team is struggling. Title team lead doesn't really cover it, right? You can be a team lead and still take zero initiative. So titles don't really work. We need a type of behavior that person picks it up. That's something what we also will discover in the workshop, how to go there. And then the executor. If we think about previous picture, the innovator, someone picks up an initiative. I believe there's quite a few people in the teams who do that. They're always full of ideas. Everyone says, yeah, let's go for it. And then nothing happens for a week. Team gets together, discusses some new idea. Everyone is like, yes, let's do it. And then nothing happens. That's where we need this third type of behavior, the executor. Again, there are a few very concrete, simple techniques, what we will cover in the workshop, how to grow the discipline of execution. Taking this idea and kind of step by step moving it forward. Then the trainee. Every leader should still be a learner. Actually, the technique is that if I have a team of probably leaders, not the engineers, but the leaders of engineers, I'll still be behaving like a trainee to them. The trick is coming to someone and saying, hey, I don't have time with this thing, I don't know how it really works, show me. And this way, I'm being humble, I'm letting that person grow, and so on and so on. A few kind of techniques around that. Then the scaler, finally, which means how do we scale the previous 4 behaviors? It keeps jumping forward, very disturbing, I'm sorry. If we had this A-team, it's actually the name A-team of the show, so that's why A-team. But if we have the super team in the company, how do we scale it so it doesn't become a big red cross at the end, making lots of good, not that good stuff? And there are a few techniques. To mention one, I'm looking at the time, and Anton, where are you? I don't know how, but I'm moving much faster than I promised. Yeah, so the scaler, one of techniques is taking a 6-week vacation. How does that go together, you may ask? So the idea is rather simple. Delegate everything you can to someone who is half ready to pick it up. And do it for real. Just assign the responsibility if the person is a bit shaky to ask it. What doesn't work is just dropping everything, saying, now you do it, and go into vacation. Obviously, that's not the way. It requires quite a lot of preparation. And in my world, that is called a succession plan, which means that every person should have a successor. And then these 2 people, basically one is reporting to another. The successor is reporting to, let's say, me. And then we meet every, let's say, 2 weeks or so, and we discuss the succession plan, which is, in other language, personal development plan. And we start discussing not just the development items, but we start discussing every 2 weeks stuff which I'd like to delegate and which I have delegated. And this way, I'm asking that person, who is your successor? And we build a tree through the company that everyone has a successor. This way, if I have done it for long enough, then one day I can just take off my brakes, say operations is already delegated, you do that, I trust you, some items which are more my own very unique thinking or whatever, we park that for 6 weeks, I'm off. That's about the scaling, and we will investigate this a little bit deeper in the workshop. Then finally, the last one, the competitor. This is a tricky one in a way that we need to be very careful with gamification in companies. Actually, a quick test just to see, are you still with me? Again. Please work. Please work. Yes. What I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Competitor. So, are you still with me? Do you have some gamification elements in your work environment? I want to see hands. Like, hey, if you do this, then you get that. There was just one hand. There's a few more. Gamification as such, not a strong concept, it seems. But the problem or the risk with gamification elements, which means something like, if you do this and that, then we will make you the best employee of the month. Do you have that, like best employee of the month programs in IT? You do? Yeah. I find those a bit tricky. I'm kind of a personality who always first understands the system and then always looks for ways how to make shortcuts, how to get my own way. That's how my mindset is built in a way. And then with such type of programs like Best Employee of the Month, or you will get promoted if you do this and this and this and this and this, it's pretty easy to play those things. So that's kind of a gamification. Not cool, because then people with behavior which I could show, I'm not doing that, but I could do it, then it doesn't work. It's not fair to those who truly kind of take it in a different way. But the competing element in work environment among leaders specifically is very, very useful. My other kind of trait, my other personality definitely is achievement-oriented. If I see a target where I need to be better than others, it activates me. And that's kind of one of typical behaviors of people who can be leaders one day. How to make it happen? So instead of saying who's going to be the best employee of the month, because then it's just one and everyone else says, now I'm going to another place because they didn't get it, find a way how to put people names on a dashboard, which basically says there are some good results, there are some bad results, and if someone in their own head can figure out that they are the best one on that dashboard, good for them. And if no one really cares that someone's better than everyone else, but for that person it's like, yes, I'm the best employee of the month. Follow? Yeah, but these things like putting people names in a workshop, we'll go through a simple example. How many here are AWS certified? What is that? No, there's a few hands. Yeah, the thing with AWS, Amazon Web Services certifications, for example, is, and same with Google, same with Microsoft, that to increase your partnership level as a company, one of requirements is some amount of certifications. Also, any company, any business this way could show that we actually know the thing, we're good in AWS. And then the HR comes and says, everyone needs to get certified. Would you do it? I mean, developers who are busy with full-time jobs, probably not touching AWS at all. Would you do it? There's a big chance that no, you wouldn't. What helps is having people on a dashboard, listing what steps we need to go through, and then doing that together one by one, as a group, and where each of us sees how far each other has got. A great social responsibility activator. If I'm the last one in the group in my training for AWS, I'm gonna speed up. Of course, not 100% success, but that's one of approaches. Now, closing down. So don't be Hunter Moore. I guess that's obvious. Don't watch the movie. Because movie truly is bad, but as you see, it made me think about a couple of topics. Because he's a genius in his own super bad way. Then everything what I told you, or more like these practices, it's not for everyone. There are people who fundamentally don't want to be responsible for others, but that's what leader means. At some point, you become responsible for others' behavior. And pushing on that, if you're a leader who is trying to coach other person, become also a leader, and that person is saying, no, stop it, leave it. Not gonna happen. Also, for you, if someone is trying to make you a leader and you feel like this is not your journey, the worst thing you can do is hold it together. No, I honestly suggest to be honest about it and say, this is not for me. I want to be that team player, a good engineer, and I'm never going to lead other people. But yeah, my personal experience is that some people get so not excited. They have so high this feeling of responsibility. There is a better name in English. They start making themselves accountable for every mistake, every win, focusing more on mistakes. They want to be leaders. They start going into a basically black tunnel. Soon there's a burnout and the full picture. Very hard to stop such people who are new team leads, and they just unstoppably go to whatever it requires them to do on the team and everything. Tell them don't do that, doesn't work. Tell them go to vacation, doesn't work. But yeah, there are also a few cases like that. So that's me. Open to actually coaching companies on DevOps practices, and coaching means helping them to become better, not just building stuff for them. Also doing some personal coaching. And I remember now what I wanted to do. If you were a little bit entertained, just a little bit, I hope you were, then this is a moment where I say, thank you, I'm done.
Woo! Thank you. Thanks a lot, but before I give you something, please tell a few words about your workshop, if you didn't do this before. The workshop you will have, or
more words.
You talked about it. Sorry, I was not here.
But just to kind of summarize it once more, what we will do in a workshop. Have you ever heard the name sociodrama? You do.
We live in Moldova. We know the word drama very well.
Kind of similar, but not really. But then someone said, yes, do you have some sociodrama community or trainings in Moldova, something like that? But if someone has, then others don't know about it. We will use sociodrama techniques to do some real acting in the workshop, to train at some of techniques I talked about. We'll see how it goes. I'm a bit rusty on that. I'm typically more into IT and having fun with Zoom calls.
Okay, thank you very much, Uldis. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.